So, where do I begin with Dr. John Gray? He's almost a man that needs no introduction. I first came across John and his work, it must be a good 13, 14 years ago. I sat at home watching the Oprah Winfrey show, and John was her featured guest. So I watched for that hour completely riveted, because at that time I was in a relationship that was in a little bit of trouble. And so everything that John said really resonated with me quite strongly. So I went out that week and I bought the book, and I distinctly remember being at home one evening and I got to the chapter where it said that when men are under stress, they go into their caves and they go internal. And I was reading segments to my partner in the hope that it would sink in, and I said, so, this guy, John Gray says, and I read the bit, this is exactly what he did. He didn't look up, he didn't acknowledge, he just went, and carried on with what he was doing. I thought, okay, John, you're so right. And so it's incredible to be here this evening after seeing him on TV so many years ago and having him here in the UK. So Dr. John Gray is really acknowledged as one of the world's foremost experts on the subject of communication and relationships. He specialises in working with couples, really helping them to understand, respect and appreciate each other. And his first book, the groundbreaking Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, is acknowledged as the #1 book on the planet in the last decade, which I think is a huge achievement. Definitely deserves a round of applause. And John has been featured in the media extensively. As I've said, I first saw him on the Oprah Winfrey show. He's appeared on Regis and Kelly Live, Good Morning America. He's featured on Larry King Live, and I could go on and on and on. The list is pretty much endless. He's also featured in tons of publications, including Forbes, which I think is a real tricky one to get into. And again, the list is almost endless. But I think for me, one of the things that really struck me as I was going through his biography is that his book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, is also acknowledged in the top 25 most influential books ever written, and John is actually at number 6 on that list. So I think that's absolutely incredible. So we are hugely privileged to have John here today. Gemma and Walter have done an incredible job because it's been 10 years since John has spoken live in the UK, so you guys are in for an absolute treat. Tonight he's talking about, as Mars and Venus collide, looking at what happens to relationships in the 21st century with the advent of technology and the fast-paced environment that we live in. So, without further ado, can you, after a decade of being away from the UK, can you please give Dr. John Gray a huge London welcome?